Disclaimer. This is a work of satirical fiction. Any resemblance to real places or situations is purely coincidental and exaggerated for comedic effect. The story intentionally contains factual inaccuracies and absurdities as part of its artistic expression.
Jeff Berwick has been watching all of this. Hopefully you can make some sense of this for me. Where did all of this come from? How did this happen?
It was wild, I'll say that much. Well, we've had a few days now to look at it. As it was happening, it was incredibly confusing because essentially what happened was on Friday, right as the stock market was closing, Trump put out a tweet, which you got to love these tweets, don't you? Where he just like randomly just says something crazy and crashes the markets. And you saw the actual US stock market starting to collapse in the post market. And then all of a sudden, crypto just got absolutely massive sells coming in. And as you pointed out, there was one, well, there was numerous, but there was one wallet for sure that had shorted hundreds of millions of dollars worth of crypto 30 minutes before the tweet went out. Actually, I think even 30 seconds before the tweet went out. And then because the markets are quite leveraged and a lot of people are quite leveraged, and this is something I've been talking about a lot. We've actually been expecting the markets to do this crack. We actually were selling at the Dollar Vigilante and the Crypto Vigilante for the last month, getting prepared for something like this. I didn't know it was going to be that crazy. And then we saw, as you pointed out, so many of the cryptos all of a sudden plunge massively, which wiped out so many people, especially those who are leveraged, which you shouldn't be leveraged. That's another part of the problem here. But it was very interesting, too, that the one wallet that sold just like seconds before the tweet went out, made about $80 million in a few hours. And then the next day, I don't know if you know this, Stu, Forbes magazine put out a tweet that Barron Trump has made $80 million in the crypto market, and kind of telling everyone what happened. So here's what I think basically, and I should point this out too. Trump has been saying these tariff things off and on and tweeting about it just randomly. And it's not Trump, by the way, it's his regime. It's basically the AI that controls the whole system. But they've been doing this for months. So when I saw that somehow him tweeting about a tariff on China caused the crypto market to collapse, I was very suspicious of it, to say the least. So that happened. And then it kind of like bounced back after that when Trump kind of put another tweet and he said, hey, don't worry about it. I was just joking around with Z. It's like insane. But here's what I think happened. Basically, this Trump regime, and you have Howard Butnick, who's the billionaire Jew guy, is always with them. They've been taking advantage of so many things in the markets. For example, Trump coin, which is a true scam rug pull coin. They made billions on that. Then they rug pulled it, unlike JPRIP, as you pointed out. And then they've been doing this so much with all these tariff stuff. They've been shorting the market right before they do these things. They've been making hundreds of billions of dollars doing this. And there's that old saying that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts completely. And that's basically what they're doing here. They're actually just, and it's insane, they're actually just making fortunes while they're just destroying so many regular people by all their actions. And that's basically what we saw happen.
If people just keep doing what I asked them to do, taking a portion of their red money investments and just putting it into a long-term play like J-Proof, there's only one way that it can go. And the people that have the power can't have power over us. That's the point here. The whole idea is not necessarily to defeat or take down the Rothschild central banksters. It is to distance ourselves, to say, yeah, we're not governable by you. We're not going to respond to your edicts and the evil moves that you're making. And that's a real thing. It's not a fallacy. It's not made up. It's not a pipe dream. It's real. And that's why it withstood that. Were there other meme coins that withstood it like that? I mean, that was very impressive. And by the way, if it were a scam, how easy would it have been for me to just at that point just drain all the liquidity from J-Proof? It was happening everywhere else. But the people that think that I would do that for a couple hundred, 300, 400 grand, that I would do that to all of my people, these are people who think that way because they would do that to their people, because they're self-preservationists, because they're always looking to just get ahead. You know, they're not bringing solutions or remedy. I don't know. I view this as a real solution. I view this as real remedy. I view this as something where you can put your money, hold your bag, and go to sleep at night and lay your head on your pillow and not worry about Donald Trump pulling the rug out from underneath you or Barron capitalizing on some insider information or knowledge. And $88 million. You know, I'm not saying that it was Barron. I'm not alleging that, but it's pretty interesting that There's this fluff piece, this article that Barron Trump has made $80 million in cryptocurrency, and that wallet made $88 million by shorting crypto just 30 seconds before the announcement that Trump was going to, impose 100% tariffs on China. There's a lot of people out there. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's basically what I think happened. I should point out that I think there's something far, far bigger happening, though. The fact that that could happen just based on this tweet doesn't even make sense, because, like I said, Trump's regime has tweeted 100 times about tariffs on China and stuff like that, and none of that caused stuff like this. So I think actually the crypto market was massively leveraged and way too offside on the longs. And so once it started to fall, it just created a cascading effect that wiped out a lot of people. And that's why you should never actually use leverage for cryptos. And those people obviously don't follow the dollar vigilante, the crypto vigilante, because they would never have done anything like that. But I think there's something actually way bigger happening. I think we're on the cusp of a massive collapse, actually. This is actually just a sign or symptom of it. So at the Crypto Vigilante, we're tracking this like by the minute at the moment. We're not completely convinced that the collapse is coming any day now, but it's looking more and more so. And this is something I've been talking about at the Dollar Vigilante for quite a while, actually. There's going to be massive, massive collapses happening. I think people should be prepared for that. It's not to say that we can't have a bounce here, and it's not to say that Bitcoin couldn't go to all-time highs again. It could. But from everything we're seeing, and we're tracking, this is why you should really subscribe to the Crypto Vigilante at cryptovigilante.io. We're tracking this daily. Our guys are doing a video on it again right now. But basically what I've been talking about is all the financial markets are going to collapse. They absolutely are going to, and that includes the crypto markets. And this could have just been the first sign or symptom or the first sort of signal that this is quite close. And I think it is. So we've got so many things going on. The Japanese yen is basically collapsing right now. France is basically bankrupt. These are massive, massive things going on. The US is bankrupt. Everything's actually bankrupt. This is the end of all these systems, and that's something that people should be prepared for.
Yeah, well, the same people control it at this point. They have leveraged billions and billions of dollars, and they have $35 trillion more now that Trump has given access to 90 million Americans' 401ks. It's just like, I don't know if people really understand how big that is. That with impunity, with complete immunity, without you having any available recourse, Larry Fink, who now controls the World Economic Forum, who's the CEO of BlackRock, the Carlyle Group, Schwarzman, Schwartz, Blackstone, all of these people can now go directly into your 401k. And how is that justified, by the way? Is there an upside for Americans giving private equity the keys to the vault so that they can go in? And not to say that anybody owned their 401ks before. That's always been a scam. You've never really owned it, just like you don't own the money that's in the bank. If you have an FDIC bank, guess what? That bank goes belly up. There's no more such thing as bank bailouts. Now they have bank bail-ins. And if your bank is invested in commercial real estate, all you got to do is drive around and look at all of the shopping malls and the shopping centers that are just completely closed down. These banks are losing their asses. So if your community bank is starting to act a little shady, they're adding withdrawal limits that you didn't have before. They're adding spending limits that you didn't have before. Things like this, they're starting to repossess vehicles. They're starting to foreclose on homes. That's because they're about to go belly up. And nobody's going to save them. The taxpayer's not going to save them. There's no more such thing as a bailout. They're not going to be saved. They're going to go belly up. And what happens to your money then? Well, it's theirs. It's gone. The same thing with your 401k. Larry Fink can just come in and grab that stuff, and he can go throw it into Bitcoin. He can go throw it into Solana. He can put it wherever they want to. Do people really understand that? What are the implications of that, Jeff?
No, people don't understand any of this stuff at all. If they did, they would hang everyone in Washington immediately. This is a complete just taking of everything from as many people as possible. Massive corruption, massive just doing things like what they did on Friday to make billions of dollars. mostly wiping out your average person as they do it. Of course, they've been doing this in every other way as well. They've been taking trillions of dollars from Americans and sending it to Israel. This is just a continuance of all those things going on. I think if people understood what was going on, they'd be getting out of banks, they'd be getting out of the fiat currencies, they'd be getting out of the financial markets. You might notice that gold and silver at all-time highs basically in the last few days. That's a very big signal to people that there is a big, massive crisis coming. We're actually already basically in that crisis. I should also point out there was actually, aside from JProof that did okay during all this, which was good to hear, there was actually some coins that were up, and they were actually all the privacy coins. And by the way, Zcash is not a privacy coin. That is actually the globalist way of trying to take over the privacy coin market. But a lot of people are starting to wake up. They're going to be moving people. They're going to crash everything. They're going to indebt it. Well, everyone's already indebted. They're going to crash the banks, crash the value of the currency, and try to push people into like a CBDC type of a thing where they'll be completely trapped and enslaved. And so some people are starting to realize this now. They've actually been starting to get into privacy coins like Monero. Pirate Chain's up dramatically in the last week, by the way. Like, it's the best performing crypto on earth is Pirate Chain. So some people are starting to realize that and starting to move into those things. But it's a time to be very, very careful right now, very cautious. Don't believe this new golden age, even with all this, stopping the war. There was no war, it was a genocide, and they're basically done the genocide now. And now they're going to build Trump towers over the graves of like 1 million little kids. 400,000 minimum little kids under 5 years old have been slaughtered there. And people are like, "Oh, Trump saved everything." All this stuff, it's all a show. They're basically just destroying and trying to kill as many goyim as possible, essentially. And most people don't realize how incredibly dire it is. So for anyone who's watching this right now, you're actually pretty lucky if you're getting access to this information. Very few people realize what's going on right now. And I would really suggest you get our newsletter at dollarvigilante.com. We're talking about this daily. We're built for these times. We've been expecting these times. This is what the Dollar Vigilante and the Crypto Vigilante are for. And it's going to be incredibly interesting. And there's things you can do to protect yourself, but you're going to have to be very smart. And definitely don't listen to anything that the mainstream media and the government and Trump regime and all these people are telling you, because it's all coming down.
We put the dollarvigilante.com up on the screen. There it is. That's what it looks like. And you can get the newsletter from the Dollar Vigilante. I'm going to shill Jeff Berwick's website here. This is a group of highly sophisticated people who have been looking at this for a very long time. And just give people, since I'm platforming this here, just give people kind of a synopsis of what the Dollar Vigilante or the Crypto Vigilante is, what kind of thought process is going into this, who it is that's, kind of opining on this, and where people are going to be getting their information from when they visit this website, if they choose to subscribe and get the newsletters. What are people going to be getting?
Yeah, the Dollar Vigilante was founded in 2010, right after the 2008 collapse, which we predicted. And once we saw that collapse happen, that's what's going to happen next. It's going to be far bigger than 2008. And so we decided to start the Dollar Vigilante newsletter to prepare for the next crash collapse, which is going to be far, far bigger than 2008. It's going to be far bigger than 1933. People will forget about all those things after this next collapse. And I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but it's going to happen in the next few months, highly likely, and definitely in the next year, almost for sure. So we started that newsletter. Ed Bugos is one of the top Austrian economics financial analysts in the world. He's been into gold since the year 2000, promoting it. He still is. It's actually the top. It's outperformed the stock market since the year 2000. We're into gold, silver stocks. Those are actually going up right now. Those are doing well. And we're actually into crypto quite a bit as well, although we've been selling a lot lately. And that's at the Crypto Vigilante, which is sort of they're two different newsletters, but they're both very similar. That we both, they're basically under the same umbrella. And the Crypto Vigilante, they've been saying to start taking profits on your crypto over the last month. So a lot of people weren't really in the market too big when that massive collapse happened on Friday. So we're actually, it's pretty incredible, because I recommended Bitcoin at $3 in 2011. at the Dollar Vigilante newsletter. I also recommended Ethereum at $2 in 2016, and most people have never even heard of that newsletter. So I actually appreciate you still actually mentioning it here, because it's the most incredible financial newsletter on earth. And because we're so blocked and banned everywhere, no one even knows about it, but except for a few people, and they've done incredibly well, obviously. So yeah, I would really recommend that people get the basic Dollar Vigilante newsletter is less than $20 a month. So it's like a Starbucks with your 15% tip that the nose ring blue haired person's going to add to your to your frappuccino. It's like less than that. So it's really cheaply priced for anyone to get, and it's incredibly crucial information right now. As you know, Stu, I've been talking for a while about all these other psychological operations. Of course, 9/11 for about 25 years now, and then of course the COVIDs, which I talked about right off the bat, saying it was a scam. They're going to try to kill everyone and inject them with nanotech, which they have. And then I covered the October 7th, and that was a false flag, which it clearly was, and obviously was, and anyone with a brain knows that. So I've been actually focusing on those things a lot for the last 5 years, but actually just last week, actually, right before the crash that happened on Friday, I said to everyone, now it's time to focus on the financial stuff. This is the next leg of things that's going to come down. And what they usually do, Steve, just so you know, just like in 9/11, I was very involved in that market. In 2001, I had a tech company worth $250 million. It was a financial internet company. And on September 11, 2001, the markets collapsed. That actually was the ending of the Shemitah that year, which is a Jewish sort of a thing as well. But they actually will do an event. As we know, 9/11 was not done by a guy named Osama bin Laden, who was actually a CIA operative named Tim Osman anyway, with the guys with a bunch of box cutters. It was actually an implosion, a planned event that they had planned for quite a long time. And they did it to actually give an excuse for why the stock market would crash, because they didn't want people to think that it was the central banks and the government that caused the crash. They wanted you to think it was the dangerous Muslims and stuff like that, which is all part of what the Jews are always doing. So what I expect actually is they're going to pull up a massive event, probably 9/11 times 1,000, so 911,000, I guess you could say. That will cause all these markets to collapse, and that's what they're going to blame the next crash on, because that's exactly what they did in 2001, and I'm expecting that we're right on the cusp of them doing it again here to crash these markets, because these markets have to crash. They're the most overvalued markets in every respect in history, and they've blown up that bubble. They've all taken advantage of it. Now people like Warren Buffett have all sold out of it. They're mostly out of the market now. You've seen insider traders all selling all their stock for the last year. They're all getting ready. They all get the tip off that something's coming, and it's going to be coming fairly soon. Like it could be tomorrow, but definitely in the next few weeks or months, it's going to be coming. So people should be prepared for that.
I don't know a safer meme coin right now than J-Proof. I hope you get into that.
Well, I have some J-Proof, I have to say. I bought some. And I was actually on your call with Lucas Gage the other day, and I think the whole thing is so unbelievably stupid and horrible, and I really have to question what he's actually doing here. As I mentioned on the call, I said, you know, we've got massive enemies out there. We know who those enemies are, and we know what they're doing. And to fight amongst ourselves over a tiny little things like, oh, did you buy a billboard or not? Where's the receipt? This is beyond stupid. People need to get over that and just forget about that, because everything I've heard from it, and I've actually been in the crypto market for 15 years, since Bitcoin basically started in 2011. I've looked at so many scams and so many cryptos, and most cryptos are scams, by the way. And I've seen so many of them. I've seen Luna, I've seen FTX, I've seen actually Bitcoin go to zero on Mt. Gox after I recommended it at $3. And I looked at what Lucas had to say about J-Proof, and it was like the stupidest thing I'd ever heard. Like, if anything, from everything I heard, J-Proof is one of the most legitimate sort of what you could call meme coins out there, from all the stuff that I've seen in the markets for years. So I definitely don't have anything bad to say about J-Proof. I don't, you know, it's a small coin that I don't have all the information on and that sort of a thing. And we're pretty focused on the privacy coins at the moment. But I definitely don't have anything bad to say about J-Proof, and I do own some.
Well, good. You should get more. Everybody should get more, because the next time this thing happens and you want a safe place to have your crypto, you got a guy who's never going to sell. Basically, I am the legitimate FDIC. I am the legitimate insurance. And as long as I'm alive, it'll never be sold. And when I die, because nobody else has the pass key for the wallet that's inside of the phone that's kept in the safe, it's not even on one of these phones that I carry. It's not on this one. It's not on this one. It's locked up in the safe. Nobody's got the pass key. Nobody can get into it. Nobody can send that phone some suspicious link that I accidentally clicked, and then the whole phantom wallet is drained. None of that is possible. And when I die, that wallet becomes eternal. Obviously there won't be giveaways and contests and all these types of things anymore. Apparently that was used to bitch and complain, saying that was me selling. How do you expect a dev to market the existence of the coin if you're not generating excitement around it? How many devs that have meme coins or tokens that are flash in the pan that just last for a brief amount of time, or ones that absolutely explode, are not advertising? If you don't know of something's existence, if you're not making it exciting, what do you do? So the billboards were a scam. Giveaways are a scam. Paying people with J-Proof, as I said I was going to do very transparently, that's a scam. So when you said that you're not really sure what it is exactly that, these people are trying to do, I think it becomes pretty apparent. This has nothing to do with J-Proof. This has everything to do with fracturing a solidified movement that has gained all kinds of speed, all kinds of momentum, has become very effective, where people who have made real sacrifices, unlike Lucas Gage, people who have sacrificed millions of dollars. If you look at Bilzerian and Jake Shields, myself personally, I've walked away from millions of dollars in advertising. Dan Bilzerian was voted off the board of his own company. Jake Shields has Jews that were lifelong friends that are stabbing him in the back and trying to get his entire podcast defunded. But yet still, this is the nucleus. This is the group of people who made those sacrifices very intentionally to help to propel a movement into mainstream conversation, where talking about Israel, as you call it, is now mainstream. It's actually trendy. People who never knew that Israel had any control over our government are now calling out these Jews on their timeline. Thirst trap girls who do nothing but post cleavage and ass pics are talking about Israel and the Jews, because they're getting more followers, because people are interested in this content because they're starting to learn about it. This was all about slowing that. It was very, very subversive behavior, and it's very obvious. Nobody obsesses over something like this if they're not getting paid to do it. And then he said, let's put this thing to bed once and for all. Here's my last video on this. Here's my last post on this. And then he followed that up just an hour later with 4 more posts on it. Now he's going on. He's made this an eternal thing for him. Lucas Gage's existence revolves around attacking Stew Peters and fracturing a movement that was gaining momentum while we were doing all the heavy lifting here.
Yeah, when I look at it, I can't believe what he's doing. We've got a massive, massive enemy. They're trying to kill and enslave everyone on Earth right now, and all he's doing is posting about where's the receipt for a bill. Who cares? This is obviously, and I've heard you say that he's actually working with a bunch of Jews. That's interesting. I thought he was very against the Jews. The only thing I could think is that he might have, some people get really insane with jealousy and envy. And he might see you as being like the leader of sort of this anti-Jew movement or whatever now, which maybe he thought he was. And now he's trying to take you down or something. I don't know. Yeah. It's just sad. What I would say to him is just stop. This is ridiculous. It looks ridiculous. It's stupid. You just make yourself look like an idiot. You have no argument here. And if, people really shouldn't pay attention to him because he's distracting all of us who are all trying to work. We're all working hard. I'm working nonstop. I actually got out of my Tesla plasma bath and my cold plunge pool to hop on here. I was in between doing both when you messaged. You said, "Can you come on right now to talk about this?"
I'm very jealous about the Tesla. I'm very jealous that you have immediate access to the Tesla machine. I can't wait till I get mine. The Tesla machine is we're going to talk a lot about that in the upcoming days, weeks, and months. Just absolutely amazing technology.
Because we've been trying to get you this Tesla machine for a few months now.
I think we did. I think we have been. We've been trying to get it. I'm not ignoring you. I can't wait to have it. When I came to Anarchapulco and I was in your home and I experienced, and you met my friend Jay, and he still has no pain there, where he has had chronic pain forever. He's dealt with that pain. Just doesn't have it anymore. And for me, it was my right shoulder. I still don't have pain there. Now I got some weird thing going on with my elbow. I just can't wait. So
we got to get you the Tesla machine again for sure.
Get me the Tesla machine. We've got to do it. All right. So there it is. Jeff Berwick. Thank you. I appreciate you jumping out of the ice baths and the Tesla machines and the plasma and all that. And you look great, by the way. You look healthy. You look healthier than ever before.
It's
you look
awesome.
like you're about 25 years old.
It's the best. I'm going to go up in the hyperbaric chamber now.
All right. Sounds good. There he is. Jeff Berwick. Make sure that you go over to the Dollar Vigilante or the Crypto Vigilante. The DollarVigilante.com. I think the crypto one he said was .io. Is he still here? Can we ask him for clarification on that?
Vigilante.io. That's right.
Okay, cryptovigilante.io or dollarvigilante.com. Make sure that you get over there. We put it on the screen plenty of times so that you shall see it. If you want to get JProof, just go to jproof.ai. All the information is right there. You can buy it with the Phantom Wallet, Moonshot, Fortis. It's on different exchanges, but only get the official contract address from jproof.ai.